So you get the starting role in your opening weekend, and you take it, and you have just an amazing weekend at the plate. I mean, just again, kind of the same thing with Stephanie. What was it like to finally play against a different opponent? And I mean, how did you just feel about your performance overall?
Yeah, I think coming into my first game, I was just a little bit nervous, as you would expect. But I talked to Coach Rowe beforehand, and we just talked about, she's like, you know what, once you have your first at bat and you see some good pitches, you get on base, like you'll be fine after that. So I was just focused on my first at bat, like doing the best I can, focusing on my job and not focusing on any outcomes or any like way that I feels or emotions. I was just trying to stay neutral and execute my job. And then it kind of just helped me settle in after there. And I will say that my teammates have done an amazing job of making me feel more comfortable when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, and they've been super awesome. So,
what did you imagine your first week of games being like, and what you ended up doing? Is that what you initially envisioned, or did you far exceed the expectations of what you expected to do?
Yeah, I would say I wasn't expecting to do as well as I did. But like I said before, I just kind of got to this place where I was like, good or bad, the outcome, I'm just not going to worry about the outcome. We're going to focus on what I can control, and whatever happens, happens. And whether it's good or bad, like my identity isn't rooted in softball. So we're just going to be neutral, whatever happens. And it happened to be good. So I was like, heck yeah, we'll take it.
How did it feel for the first time getting to handle this pitching staff in a live game action?
Super fun. I love our pitchers a lot. They are grinders and they want to win. So I felt like it was easy kind of coming in because they made me feel so comfortable, and I have a great relationship with all of them, and they were super awesome to me. So I would just say it was a fun experience. They're awesome.
Curious because you made a couple of references to neutral. You read Trevor Mawad's?
It takes what it takes. Yeah, we're working on it as a group.
All right, I guess.
Thanks to Coach Rowe.
Is that the book that Coach Rowe is having you guys work?
Yes. We're going through it as a team right now, talking about neutral thinking and just what it looks like, and trying to minimize like the roller coaster of emotions that we go through as college athletes. And we're trying to minimize the ups and downs so we can kind of just operate from a neutral space, neutral thinking. So, yeah.
Have you gotten to the Oregon reference in that book yet?
No, sir. I'm sure we'll find it, though.
There's an Oregon women's basketball reference in there. I won't spoil it.
Emma, just kind of speaking on that, obviously, when you guys are having the highs that you guys had this past weekend, how do you guys make sure you don't maybe let that get to you guys? Don't get a little bit too full of yourself, obviously, as the competition continues to ramp up, not only this week, but obviously in the weeks after that as well.
Yeah, I would say that whatever we did last weekend was last week, and it doesn't affect our next weekend. So we're just going to continue on like defining what our jobs are, what we need to do, focusing on what we can control, and whatever happens, happens. And like I said, last week was last week. We're focused on next week, one game at a time, taking the next right step, and just doing the best we can with what we have.
Kind of segueing off of that, but because you guys did do so well, but not wanting to focus on that, what are some of the opportunities that you personally take from the series that you had this last weekend for improvements, things that you want to tweak? Or
me personally, I would say me personally, I would like to control the running game a little bit better. Felt that I was a little bit on my heels as a catcher, so want to be able to command the running game better, and then just kind of keep doing what I'm doing offensively, and just kind of keep the same mindset there, taking the positives with us, but yeah, just focusing on the next thing.
What was Coach Lombardi's message to the team after this past weekend? What did she tell you guys after the first 5 games? Anything you can recall specifically?
That we get to wear slides to the airport and we get Prince Pucklers was the main thing, but that's kind of all I remember. No, but yeah, I think our coaching staff was happy with what we did, but they're still kind of saying the same message to us about like, yeah, like this was great. Let's take our wins, but let's keep focusing on our process and not the outcomes, and let's just keep going, keep doing what we're doing, keep the momentum, but understand what got us to that point and repeat the process.
That second homer that you hit on Friday going the opposite way when the winds had been blowing out to left all morning, how big is that for you to show your power to all fields and be able to utilize the whole field when you're at the plate?
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I hit a home run, it's usually when I'm not trying to. So when it happens, I'm like, oh, that was awesome. So I don't know. Not much to say about that, but just glad that it happened, I will say.
How did it feel to go back to back with Paige twice?
Oh, I love when Paige bats behind me in the lineup. She fires me up. It was super fun. She's an awesome teammate. So we were excited in the dugout.
Did you guys have like a friendly wager? Because every time you did something, she tried to one up it.
Yes, I was like, Paige, you got to stop showing me up. No, there was one at bat where I think she hit a home run and then I didn't. And she was like, Emma, where were you? Where were you that at bat? And I was like, sorry, Paige, that's on me.
What was it like being in a game mode with Coach Lombardi? This is someone obviously that you've known a while in recruiting and obviously in practice, but what was it like seeing her in her element as a head coach?
It was, I would say she's just very consistent. So what we get at practice is also what we get in the game. So I felt the same as I do every day with her. She's a consistent woman. We know what the expectations are. So yeah, pretty much the same.
Any difference with in-game pitch calling and just the sequencing of when it's actually a game as opposed to practice and scrimmages and those sorts of things?
Honestly, I didn't notice a big gap with anything, whether it was like Coach Martyr calling things or Coach Lombardi calling it home. Like what you saw was kind of what our scrimmages tend to look like in practice, which is a good thing because we were practicing the right things apparently. So yeah, not a huge gap.
What
Anything else for Emma?
Go ahead. Not that this is your first time, but pitch comms, what did you think of them? What was your thoughts of kind of having that technology?
Yeah, I love pitch comms because they just make it super easy and then there's not a whole lot of room for error. So all those small mistakes that you could have in a game, calling pitches or messing up signs, it takes those away and helps you focus more on just executing the one that you get. So I'm a big fan. I like them a lot.